Hello, thank you for joining me once again. This is round 3 of the WTRL Zwift Racing League. We are in Class C, and today we are at the New York City King of the Mountain Afterparty course. As you can see, it is 3 laps of the Gotham Grind Reverse, which means 3 sprint points and not an iota of flatland anywhere. It finishes with the New York City KOM 1.4 kilometers at 6.1%. Heck of a grind up there. So as you can see, we have lines up on the start. We are kind of early in the pack, and in terms of goals for this one, hang on. Last a little longer than last week, where we kept with the lead pack for around 20 kilometers, and then we dropped off. So power down and off we go at the start. The usual heavy, fast Cat C start. I suppose every Zwift race starts the same way, doesn't it? Lots of power. Interesting to note this time, you can see on the mini map at the top, that's the start arch. So that means that the first sprint is going to be contested with no power-ups. It's just going to be straight power, no gimmicks, no gamification on this one. So let's see, it's straight out the pens and straight up the hill. Sort of false flat, 1%, 2%, and up to 4% at points. It's a rough start, and it takes a little while to settle down. But the group did eventually go, about 37 riders, and we will jump to the first sprint point. Now, the sprint largely, there's a little uphill leading into it, then it's quite flat, and then it peaks with a little uphill right at the line. And then what makes it worse is just after the sprint, we continue uphill. So you really need to be going quite hard for quite a distance. So the sprint goes. My goal is entirely just to stick with the pack, and we won't worry too much about trying to get sprint points. I just don't have the power to do it anymore. So over the first sprint line, Keith Lear from HCZR Zwift, and then a couple from RWBSC2 taking the points. So here we are, the post-sprint uphill, around 5%. Just a grind, really, and we just want to try and stick with the front group. Now everyone would come back together, all sort of 30-some people, and that was lap 1 sprint. On to lap 2, and we make a little mistake. And you see this bin, I mistimed that and thought that was the start of the sprint point. So I've dropped an aero boost, gone to the front, looked around, realised nobody else is going, and gone, oh, it's a rollover, I'll take the points. No, I just thought the bin was the start of a sprint point. Poor course recon. Research your courses. On we go to the actual sprint, and again, everyone piles off. We're just trying to stick with the pack and try and just stay with the lead group, really. By this point, you can see from the bar at the bottom, it's been pretty hard. A couple of digs have had to go in to close gaps and stick with things. But some big numbers coming on the sprints there. I saw 8 watts a kilo. Yeah, it's pretty heavy going. So over the line, and you see the results here. Keith Lear again, HCZR Zwift. Teammate Andrew Isaacs, HCZR Zwift, taking second, with one of the Cryogen Harriers in third. So big points coming in already for HCZR Zwift. They have taken first place in both sprints and a second place as well in the second sprint. Now, this one was really hard grind just to try and get back onto the pack. Real tough. It looked like the pack was splitting up. You can see from the power graph that we're having to put in a lot of effort to try and get back on. Over a long distance as well, it didn't come back together quickly. The lead group were really trying to split the pack up. And yeah, it's just hard. Really hard. So we'll jump forward again, and I've left the audio on for this bit.
I can't hold the front anymore.
So that was me over team radio admitting that I cannot hold on to the front pace anymore. However, as soon as I lifted off, I must have got a little second wind, pushed on, used my aero power up to try and close the gap. It was only a second or so, but it was enough. Again, put myself in the red and really pushed on to get back. I was determined that I wasn't going to drop earlier than last week, so pushed on back into the warm bosom of the peloton. Now we move on to the next sprint, the lap 3 sprint, and again we're just trying to hang on to the pack. No intention of doing any sprinting. We did end up crossing the line in 12th place, which is, you know, I'm pretty happy with that. It was better than I expected. But what a result for HZRD Zwift. Heath Lair, David Cook, Andrew Isaacs, 1, 2, 3. What a rake of points. I mean, credit where credit's due. That is some phenomenal teamwork. And with that alone, they will have dominated the points aspect of the race. Yeah, fantastic work. Again, you can see race splitting up. Really just hammering, using our feather power up, because let's be honest, it's going to be no use to me on the hill, and just try to get back together and into the lead group. It's been a very hard race, but we have managed to get on, and that's good enough for me. And with that, we will jump forward a little bit and have a look at the claimy sections. So you can see we have found the first climb of the day, well, the first proper rise of the day, and the percentages here are enough to see me just blown away. I can't possibly compete with those kind of gradients. So at 6%, you just see everybody riding me clean off the wheel, and yeah, that'll be the last time I see everybody, as a group at least. So see you later. Jumping forward, you can see after the first hill, the lead group has already put 20 seconds into me, and yep, they're just going to keep pulling away. The road rises up again, 5 or 6%. By this point, they're already about 25 seconds ahead up front, and just horrible gradients involved here, 8, 9, 10%. And you can see the damage that's done after that section. We're now about 45 seconds behind the lead group. But more importantly, when I'm taking a look at the people behind me, about 1:50 or so ahead. I have found a companion, one of the Navy Cycling team's riders, Dart. I won't be ahead of him for very long, but it was nice to at least have a small section with someone else there on this King of the Mountain. And as the gradient picked up again, he rode off into the sunset with the 13% gradients there, and that would be about the last time I would see him. I think I catch him on the next little rise, well, the next flat section, and then the road rises up and he disappears again. But it was nice to have him around. See you at the finish. And just onto the flat section before the final kick up. Gap about 150-ish to the chasing pack, so it looks like we were quite secure in our top 20 finish in 19th place. Never going to catch anyone in front. And as you can see, we are safe around a minute advantage at the end of the climb, and we are going to just roll over here, take our 19th place and be very, very happy. You see the results coming up on screen now. Win for Zwift España, Juanjo Ferris. I look at the overall team results, and HCR to Zwift after their sprints, fantastic. And the total league results leaves us in 13th place. Happy there. I'll see you next time.